POC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from a new company for us. This is a company called Yichuang, and this is their WC-WM600 50-channel UHF wireless dual lavalier microphone system, which gives you the ability to be able to use 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, similar to some of the other items we've tested in the past. And what we're going to do today is we're going to open this up and see what it looks like, then see what it sounds like, and then you'll find out for yourself if this is something that might work out for you. Now you do get an actual hard shell case with this thing, which is pretty nice, similar to what you'd seen with certain other companies like Sennheiser. And I mean, it's usually you're finding some kind of a soft shell or semi-soft shell option, so already we're at a good start. It is important, of course, to point out the fact, like I mentioned, this is a dual receiver, which means you have 2 transmitters or the ability for 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, but this is a single pack that we're covering today. So you're only going to get 1 transmitter this round, and if you want to use 2, you got to buy an extra transmitter. You do get some instructions to walk you through all the various features of the transmitters, which we'll open up right here because all we see is Chinese at the very moment. And just to make sure, yes, they do come in English as well, which is incredibly important if you do not have any Chinese reading skills. This right here is your transmitter pack. It's a little thicker than average if you compare it to like Shure or Sennheiser or anything like that. It's about maybe, I'd say, 40% thicker than some of the professional packs out there. It does use a similar clip on the back. You have a battery compartment right here on the side for 2 AA batteries, and you also have the option of going wired for an external charge or external power so that you can keep going without any problems with loss of batteries. You have a low cut on the side here, and you have a microphone input here for the lav that it comes with. And of course you have 4 buttons on the front. You have your up and down, you have your power and your set, so you can scroll through the menu and choosing your frequencies and whatnot. And you also have the option to mute the microphone as well in case you just want quick access to muting the microphone. The receiver is similar to the transmitter in size. It's just as thick, and it comes with the same thing. You have a compartment here for 2 AA batteries, as well as external power if you need to. You have the ability of controlling mix or stereo, which is mono or stereo, which basically gives you the option of combining both microphones if you are using 2 different transmitter packs. You can combine them into 1 mono signal, or you can separate them so that one is left and one is right, which just makes it easier later on for post-edit, or you just simply want the person on 1 to speak on the left and the person on 2 to speak on the right. Just like the transmitter pack, you have 4 buttons on the front to maneuver through the menu system with. You have your 2 threaded ports here for installing the antenna to, and then you have your 2 3.5mm jacks here. One is going to be out, which goes directly to the camera or other source that you're recording to, and the other one is for phones so that you can actually listen live to what you're actually recording versus having to find out post-edit what it sounds like. You get a hot shoe converter here, or in this case cold shoe converter, which slides onto the pack, the clip on the back of the pack at least for the receiver, and allows you to slide this onto a DSLR hot shoe at the top and or a bracket or anything else using the same adapter. And then on the bottom of that, you also have a threaded input here for tripods as well. We have our 2 antennas here that go onto the receiver just simply by screwing into them, or into the ports here, and you're able to move them around so you can get the best orientation to wherever you're trying to pick up from. So typically if this is installed on top of a camera using the cold shoe mount, the adapter at least, to a hot shoe or a bracket or anything else on your camera setup, it's probably going to sit just like this, in which case you want the antennas to face straight up and down because the sides of the antenna is what's broadcasting outwards, or at least receiving, not broadcasting. The lavalier it comes with is pretty basic when you compare it to a lot of the other lav solutions out there within this price range. They do come with an additional foam piece as well, windscreen for the lavalier. Unfortunately, both of these pieces of foam are actually crushed a little bit, and they're not really going back to their original shape at the moment, so hopefully that changes later on. But if that's the only thing we have to worry about, then we're definitely doing pretty good so far, because chances are, if you have a lot of experience working with this kind of equipment, you probably have spare windscreens laying around. Now, it does not come with the micro USB to USB adapter for providing external power with, so you will have to use your own external cable. What's really interesting is that they provide you with a lot of adapters. And this gives you the ability to be able to record sound to just about anything. So of course, if you have a professional camera or a mixer or a preamp for an DSLR or anything else that takes XLR, you have the ability to go out of this into the XLR to be able to deliver the audio to that recording device with. Of course, if you have the ability to go directly into the side of a DSLR or a camera system or anything else with just a basic 3.5mm connection, this also includes computers that aren't using a dual headphones and headset, headphone microphone port. If it's just a regular mic input, then you can use this on computers as well. But you have your 3.5mm to 3.5mm cable on top of the XLR. In addition to that, if you're wanting to record to a smartphone, you're going to need the TRRS connection because the smartphone does have a combined port for both microphone and headphones, in which they do give you the adapter here, so you're just basically plugging in the 3.5mm from the camera, you're plugging into this adapter, and then it converts it from the TRS to the TRRS connection, allowing to record to smartphones as well. And then of course, if you prefer to use Apple devices to record to, then you have their proprietary wonderful little lightning cable here. So you have a 3.5mm to lightning cable, so you can record to an iPad or an iPhone as well. So you have XLR, you have 3.5mm, you have 3.5mm TRRS, and you have lightning, which gives you just about every device out there. Looks like they pretty much have you covered. So that's pretty cool right out of the box here. You don't have to go out and buy any more adapters. You're ready to record as soon as you start putting everything together. So that is a big plus. But the biggest thing that we of course want to know is, what do these sound like? What I'm actually talking to, or what you're hearing me through right now, is a Shure microphone. This is a Shure wireless lav microphone. And that's what I've been using to do this entire video with so far. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap me out to using this lavalier microphone, and that way we can see what it sounds like. So we have swapped out the Shure microphone with the Yichuang YC-WM600 50-channel UHF wireless dual lavalier microphone system. That's a lot of words, but what that means is you have 50 channels to scroll through on this. You can't manually set the frequencies, but you have 50 channels to choose from. So chances are you're probably going to find a channel that's gonna be suited for what your needs are for. The only time this is ever going to give you any issues is if you're in environments that are extremely wireless heavy, like big shows like E3, CES. So we're probably not going to make use of these on the show floor in those larger shows personally. But if you're a smaller vlogger or more of a, I'd say this is professional level, this will get you through just about any environment beyond that. So if you're just in a normal commercial building, or if you're out recording outside, or if you're at home, or whatever the case may be, you should be able to get a really good selection of frequencies to be able to make sure that you're not getting stepped on by anybody else. And the screen is extremely easy to read. As you're scrolling through it, once you hit it, the light turns on, it backlights everything, everything's in big print. You got your frequency, which is just your focus here. So I immediately can tell that on channel 1, which is what we just turned it right onto, and it defaulted to, of course, is 566.125, which is, again, frequency number 1. And it shows that the low cut is off, or is on right now, excuse me. Low cut is on. So we're going to turn it off. Now low cut is off, and it says that now the icon's gone. It no longer shows that I have low cut on. So I do not have low cut on. Now I have low cut off, which means you're getting full frequencies coming from the microphone, or at least what it's capable for. And of course it gives you battery readouts. So you're able to set the frequency and set various other options through it very easily with this menu, because again, you can see this really clearly. Even if you have any kind of trouble seeing things, unlike some of these other models out there, they got tiny screens and tiny print, So I know it's something simple, but that does make a big difference to some. But it is able to transmit up to 300 feet, maybe even longer than that, which is really cool. And once again, also gets you through many different situations. Of course, in most situations, when you're using a wireless lav like that, you're probably not going to be too far away from the subject, unless you're using this for like giant meeting rooms or giant sessions on the stage or whatnot, in which case you're probably going to use an actual rack-mounted unit and not something like this. But at least you know, worst case scenario, if this is all you have, it might actually make the cut. So again, this is the Yichuang YC-WM600, I had to think for a second there, 50-channel UHF wireless dual lavalier microphone system. So you can have 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. It only comes with 1 transmitter though, so if you want to make use of 2, you do have to buy an extra one in addition to this. If you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe below. We have that button down there, as well as the comment section, so we can all discuss this. Maybe you own one of these and you have some comments yourself you'd like to share. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.